Guys, Carmine back again, once again, for another House of the Dragon preview, this time for episode 8, the season finale. Real quick, before we start, props to them for this episode tonight, especially with how it began with some great shots, and it ended on an epic note with Rhaenyra and her new squad of dragon riders behind her. Truly a good episode, but of course, as always, definitely leave your thoughts down below on what you thought of tonight's episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Why and why not? I'd love to check out what you all thought, and maybe even include it in my episode 7 review tomorrow. And before I forget, be sure to leave a like and comment on the video as a sacrifice to the algorithm gods. It helps out a lot, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, let's get into it. So we start off the preview with a voiceover from Criston Cole telling the audience and Gwaine that they march towards their annihilation. It seems the battle over Rook's Rest took a toll on him, and my man here has some severe PTSD, which makes me wonder if they're going to give Cole some type of redemption arc set for the next season. And I wonder if he'll have some kind of epiphany regarding his role in all of this, which would be interesting since he really did have a hand in making this whole Civil War thing worse than it could have been. And we also see a familiar sight, armies and more armies marching, and I feel like I've been saying this all season, but my god, do I enjoy seeing all of these houses from the source material on the move. We have houses Lannister and Lefford, then we have the Greybeards from the Starks crossing the Twins, and of course, House Hightower is also coming in with a blue dragon flying overhead. This is Prince Daemon and his dragon Targaryen, but something tells me that we won't really see Daemon, and it'll be one of those like closing scenes of the episode. In the next scene, we see that Rhaenyra is flying towards Harrenhal to check on Daemon's progress, and we also see that Seasmoke and Adam are accompanying her over there as an escort, and that makes sense. With more dragons on her side, she can afford to move about freely. In a voiceover, we can hear that she is finally making her move, but unfortunately, the season is about to be over, so it's a little late to see what strategies she has cooking up. Over in King's Landing, Alicent is chastising Aemon about bringing ruin and death over the Seven Kingdoms, and later in the trailer, we do see him overlooking a stronghold on fire. She's likely criticizing him over his handling of that situation, possibly putting them to death over their support of Rhaenyra, or maybe it was Rhaenyra's dragon riders who got there first and left before Aemon could arrive to reinforce. We also see Helena in the background, and it looks like she hurt her hands. It's possible Aemon forced her to try and ride Dreamfire, which we see him trying to persuade her to do in the trailer, and maybe she hurt herself in some way while doing so, or maybe Aemon hurt her. It's quite a shame that Helena only ever shows up this season to be either quirky or to be traumatized, and it's also a shame we haven't seen her ride her dragon yet, especially considering how in the books she loved to ride, but in the show we almost never see it. Over in Harrenhal, Alfred Broom finally arrives and is giving Daemon the news that Rhaenyra hasn't amounted to much, which was true until this episode where she has raised dragon riders, so we'll have to see how he feels about the update. But we do see Alfred here with the Rivermen army, while Daemon gives them a speech before heading off to war. We also get some shots across the Narrow Sea. Master of Coin Tywin Lannister was absent this episode, and it's because he went over to Essos to treat with the Triarchy, and we can see him here getting wrestled down by them, but he was able to convince them to sail against the Velaryons because we can see their fleet heading towards Westeros in the preview. But the whole thing ends with quick shots of Rhaena still chasing some dragon across the Vale, Corlys in his battle armor, Gwaine pointing his sword at Criston Cole, and, as always, we close out with Vhagar flying while something burns in the foreground. Overall, we're going to have an insane season finale. I know a lot of people have not been enjoying the somewhat slow pace these last few episodes, but I think the season so far has been quite enjoyable, and I'll touch on that in my review tomorrow, so I hope you'll join me. But guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, you know the drill. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps out a lot. And if you've been with me all this time during the preview trailer breakdowns, then I greatly appreciate you for coming, and I hope you'll join me in the upcoming weeks for some more House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a good one.